Seda Sol.
Yeah.
And I have to admit it started out as a mess because I was a mess today. And it's the third attempt to get the podcast done.
Yes.
And it almost didn't happen because I was cleaning and I thought that it was at 6 and not 4. So totally my fault. But go ahead and introduce yourself to everybody.
Hi,
And we'll go from there.
I am David of Seda Sol. I sing and I play rhythm guitar in Seda Sol.
Okay. So what kind of music, what would you describe your music as for people that have never, ever seen you play?
Oh, man. It's always like a tough question because I always go like, I don't know. I guess the most like surgical terms I could use is like indie, bedroom pop, kind of like strokesy kind of stuff. We get a lot of inspirations from kind of like the Brazilian indie scene. A lot of bands like Los Hermanos and Donovan that we really like. And then, influences like Strokes from back home and, Pink Floyd.
Okay. Did you see the Strokes when they were here?
Oh, no, I did not.
You didn't?
I kicked myself for not.
Yeah, I'm sure. I kick myself every time someone comes. I just have a hard time paying the money, what they're charging these days for tickets. It's crazy.
Yeah. Nowadays, I kind of like bite the bullet if it's like a band I really like. Like, I've been pretty good about seeing every artist that I really like when they come down here. Like, just recently I saw Faye Webster at the Miami Beach Band Shell.
Okay.
Who was fantastic. I love Faye Webster. And I think before that, I saw AJJ when he came to Gramps.
Okay.
But yeah, I try and do my best to see everybody I really could. Because, I saw Bob Dylan.
Oh, yeah, my daughter saw Bob Dylan.
Yeah, I saw your daughter
she
there.
told me that.
Yeah.
Place, yes.
I was like, oh, my God. I had, like, already walked out, and I saw her on the corner. I was like, oh, my God.
Yeah.
Figures, because they love Bob Dylan.
Yeah, they love him.
But, yeah, I was like, oh, man, I got to see him before he, like, keels over.
I told her, I
He's
said,
really
well,
old.
hopefully you guys didn't just spend the money on these tickets and he dies before he even gets a chance to see him. Because
no, exactly. That's why I was like, no, when am I going to get a chance to see Bob Dylan?
Yeah, for sure. So, okay, let's talk about how you got your start. Instruments you play. Was it? Because I know nothing. I usually do a lot of research, but I did research our first attempt at the podcast, and obviously I forget things since I thought we were at 6 and not 4 today.
Yeah, well, so me personally, I only started playing guitar like COVID.
Okay.
COVID hit, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to buy a guitar. And, like, actually kind of, there was nothing to do, so I just kind of played, like, 4 hours a day every day. And then finally when, like, everybody kind of, that lockdown hysteria ended, I was like, I can kind of play guitar. But I didn't start a band my friend, it was a friend of my ex-girlfriend. Okay. He was like, oh, I kind of want to start gigging. And I was like, cool. Good for you, yeah. That'd be super cool. He's really good at the keyboard. Been playing piano for like 12 years. And he was like, you should be in the band too. And I was like, I'm not very good at guitar at all, man. And he was like, you're good enough. I've seen people way worse. And I was like, okay. And so when the band started, we kind of, it was just me on like rhythm guitar. And we had another guy that would sing. And he would play keyboard. And we had another drummer. And the bassist that we have now is still the same bassist.
Okay.
But then, after a while, the singer left the band, so I started singing. And then,
so you didn't do any of the singing to begin with. It was just the rhythm guitar.
Yeah.
Okay.
I really, honestly, I don't think I'm that good of a singer. I think I'm just the least shy out of...
You don't have to be a great singer. That's it. That's key.
Yeah.
You just have to be outgoing and be able to put on you don't even have to be outgoing because sometimes people just turn into a totally different person when they hit the stage.
Yeah.
As long as you keep that crowd involved, you're...
No, that's my problem. I don't turn into a completely different person. I'm the same exact person when I'm on the stage. And if anything, I get a little bit more shy when I'm on the stage.
Really?
But yeah.
Okay.
But my band, my bandmates, they're like very like, they're like, no, I don't want to sing. But like, they sound great when they sing. I'm like, come on, the harmonies would be great. And they would be like, oh yeah, I know, but... So, for now, I'm the only singer. But yeah, and that's kind of just like how the band started, just kind of like on a whim, just like covering songs that we really like The Strokes and like some other indie bands that we know. And yeah, we just did that for a while, and then we started writing our own music, and the first stuff was like really bad, but then we kind of like keep figuring it out,
Right.
and like every new song that we write, I like it more,
Mm-hmm.
so it's working out.
So tell me about the songwriting process. Who does it? Like, is it a joined thing, or is it just?
So for our songs, getting a little parched. For our songs, when we write them, it's kind of like I'd say it's more like a group effort. Like let's say I'll have an idea and then I'll play it. They'll either be like, it's garbage, I hate it, or they'll be like, all right, let's jam with it, and then we'll jam, and everybody kind of fills in, does their own part, and then I write lyrics, we look at the structure.
Do you do the main lyrics? Like,
yeah.
Okay.
But basically, the way I look at it is like, if I'm going to be saying it, I don't want it to be dumb.
Right.
So
True.
I'm
Yeah.
like, let me make sure it's good. And like sometimes I write the lyrics and I'm like, wow, this is amazing. And then other times I write the lyrics and I'm like, wow, I hope nobody ever really pays attention to the lyrics.
Oh,
They're
really?
so bad. I'm like, ugh. Because I like to read. So I know like good writing and I'm like, ugh, that's not it. So sometimes it'll be like 5 drafts and then sometimes it'll just be like 1.
Okay. Where do you find the inspiration for your lyrics?
Mostly just like things that happen to me personally,
Right.
or sometimes I'll just sit down and I'll be like, time to do a little creative writing. What
Right.
if this were to happen to me or something? And I'll try and like put myself in that position of like how I would feel in that moment if that were to happen. Or honestly, sometimes it's just like conscious, like unconscious, like flow or whatever. I'll just like whatever kind of Ouija boards out while I'm listening to the music, and then I try and write around that.
Right. Okay.
That's yeah.
Okay. And all right. So where did you guys play your first show?
Oh man. Our first show was actually at the School of Rock.
Okay. Did you guys go there?
We were just invited to play. I don't even know who invited us or how they found out about it. I think the guitarist that we had at the time had a friend who was doing a show and he invited us.
Okay.
But at the time we were called Overcast, and it was like a super low key kind of friends of friends thing, and we showed up, played. Actually, Don't Panic was there.
Okay.
I think they changed their name now.
Yeah. All out panic now.
But they were there, and yeah, it was so long ago now. It was like maybe 2 years ago, which isn't that long, but it feels like a long time ago. And that was our first show. It was a super small show.
Right. So talking about changing your name, where did Seda Sol come from? And what does it mean?
So Seda Sol means Silk Sun.
Okay.
And actually, we were Silk Sun at one point too. But I just got tired of because my parents speak Spanish.
Oh, okay.
All of our parents speak Spanish.
Okay.
Some of our parents speak Portuguese instead. But we just got tired of translating and be like, Silk Sun means Seda Sol, mom, or Sol de Seda, you would say.
Right. Okay.
And we actually had like a 3-day long debate about whether to be Sol de Seda or Seda Sol. And I was like, Seda Sol flows better. And it was like a very long debate. But yeah, I just got tired of translating it to my mom, so I just made the switch official.
I can get that, because when I had my youngest daughter, her name is Christine Catherine, but I love the name Katie, so I was like, we could just call her Katie after short for her middle name. I've never called her Katie because I was like, I'm not going to explain to people, well, her name's really Christine Catherine, but we call her Katie short for her middle name. But only person that called her Katie was my father, and that was it. It's just, but yeah, so I totally get the whole not wanting to explain it. I had a full. Oh, you all speak Spanish. Do you guys have any Spanish songs?
Well, actually,
released, or?
A lot of our songs are in Spanish nowadays. It's like most of the songs I write are in Spanish. I think of the 5 songs in the EP, which released December 8th. Go check it out on Spotify. I think 1 is in Spanish.
Okay.
Which is Mia, which means mine.
Okay.
It's kind of like a love song.
Written about a certain person?
I guess you could say that.
Yeah.
it's more like just it's not like I didn't write it with the intention of it being for a certain person. I just like kind of wanted the idea of that, you know, kind of the message, because I think it's more powerful when you can like apply a message to multiple things.
Absolutely.
Or, you know, if you're a listener, somebody else. So, you know, I try and shy away from specifics.
Right.
But me personally, I was seeing somebody when I wrote it, and I was thinking about them, you know, for inspiration.
Right. I would always say that, like, I love songs that are written about, like, anything else than what I interpret it to be written about, because that's just, like, so creatively written, I think, that I can interpret it about a dog, but it was really about a star. You know, it's like,
exactly.
I love that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me ask you, as a Latin singer, like, if you were to have you ever translated as you're singing into English as opposed to, because I know a lot of times, like, if you watch like The Voice or something, you'll see someone sing a really popular song, but they'll sing it in Spanish as opposed to English. And so, but I wonder how it would sound if you did it the other way.
I think this is what I love about Spanish. I think you can translate something from English to Spanish and have it be just as good, if not more powerful sometimes even. But I think if you translate it from Spanish to English, it just falls flat.
I feel like I feel that same way. Not that I've ever heard it, but thinking about it, that's why I was asking you. I was like, I don't know if it'll have the same effect.
If I sang Mia in English, I would physically cringe out of my skin when I said the things I say, because it's like it's so sappy and like so, you know, you just can't. Like in Spanish, you can get away with
You could totally
so
get
much.
away with it. Yep.
Yeah.
And you don't even have to understand the lyric, like, because I don't speak. I think I know like a couple curse words in Spanish. That's my extent to Spanish, but I don't have to know it to feel what Spanish music is delivering.
Yeah.
So that's what I love about Spanish music, also.
Yeah. For me, writing in Spanish just gives me like it gives me kind of this ability to. Spanish, technically, it's my first language. I was talking English when I was really little because it's just like TV.
Yeah.
But when I write in English, I feel like I have a harder time finding words that flow or that feel better to say. I think it's that song. What's that song that's like, I want it that way?
Oh, yeah. Backstreet Boys, is that who it was? Or
I think
NSYNC,
so.
one of those.
The guy who wrote that song, he was this Swedish guy, I think. He does not know English.
Okay.
So if you listen to the song, it's kind of like a little bit like doesn't make sense grammatically sometimes.
Okay.
But it feels good to say.
Right.
Right. And they re-released a version that was like correct grammar and like, but it didn't feel good to say. Like when you sang it, it like just didn't flow. Like the words just don't have that proper. They don't convey the same feeling.
Right.
Because the words that you pick are more important than anything in terms of how it feels coming out of your mouth and how it feels for other people to sing them as well.
Right.
So it's a really like interesting like thing that I like always think about, sometimes way too much when I'm writing.
Right.
But I feel like with Spanish, it's just like it feels like it's a language that's meant to be sung.
Well, because it's like a sexy language, so you can get in tune with your emotions that you can't technically like.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I 100% agree with that. So, all right, let me ask you a question. You started in COVID just by chance, just to pass the time, and now you have this band together. Like, what are your goals for it? Like, is it still just like a cool thing to do with your friends and hang out, or is this something you want to do?
For me personally, when I, when the band became like a big part of my life, I really had like nothing else going for me at the time. In fact, I was like enlisting, in the process of enlisting when I
really
made the band.
What branch?
The Army.
Okay.
I was gonna do combat medic.
Oh wow.
Just
okay.
because like I got out of high school, a couple of my friends enlisted, and I was like, why not? But then by the time COVID ended, I had a girlfriend, I had a band. I was like, man, let's not do that.
Now.
Yeah,
yep.
exactly. So for me, the band was a lot bigger, like part of my life than the other people in the band. I was also like older than the other people in the band.
Right.
When we started the band, I was 20. They were like barely 19. They were like
Okay.
not even out of high school yet.
Right.
And I had been out of high school for like maybe 2 years already.
Right. Okay.
So I was completely fine with the fact that, like, you know, maybe he's going to kind of go to college, maybe go to college somewhere else. Maybe he's going to graduate and be like, oh, music's not for me.
Right.
You know, so I was completely cognizant of the fact that, like, the people in my band are probably not going to be as involved in it as I am. So I was completely, you know, fine with that because people grow up.
Right.
And, like, when I graduated high school, I knew I did not know what I wanted to do at all.
Yeah.
So I was, like, fine with
And you're still so young. You shouldn't have to know at that
exactly.
point.
So, you know, for me at the time, the band was just, like, some kind of fun that we were doing. And if they wanted to do it while I wanted to do it, even better.
Right.
So, but now, for me, it's kind of turned into this, like, I feel like now, for the first time in my, you know, 22 years, that, like, I have something that, like, is something that is mine, something that I have made with my friends. And, like, I can use that to, you know, help build a community,
Right.
you know, with the music scene.
Right.
And for me, that feels really cool.
Right.
And also, it's like a nice way to express myself. You know, it's probably not going to go anywhere. You know, other than
No.
for
Can't
me,
think like that.
for me, like, we got 4,000 streams on Spotify. That's like 4 times as much, like, listeners as I thought we were ever gonna get. You know, so I was like, it's like, wow, this is kind of cool. You know, some people actually kind of care.
Right.
Actually, huge in Finland. I don't know why. Somebody put it in like a playlist, and we got like 1,000 streams overnight.
Oh my gosh.
In Finland.
That's awesome,
It
though.
was really so. Shout out Helsinki.
Is that who did it?
Yeah, somebody in Helsinki, Finland was put us on a car playlist.
That's awesome.
So for me, you know, I was like, you know, it's probably not gonna end up going anywhere, but I'm like, it's teaching me things about you know, being an adult that is kind of valuable to just me in my 20s, even if I'm not really doing anything.
Right.
Like, I don't I'm not really in school. I do, like, online school sometimes to kind of, like, just get an associate's, but, you know, because I didn't go to school, I was just going to be like, I'm going to enlist, and then I didn't.
Right.
Just to kind of have something to fall back on. But even that, like, I really don't. I'm kind of just, like, I kind of fall, like, backwards into everything I do in my life. And
Well,
so
you're
far, it's
still
working
young,
out.
though.
Yeah.
That's.
If anything, I'll just, you know, some of my buddies do trades.
That's. I am 100% for trade school.
Yeah.
I'll tell you that right now. I have 11. No, I don't have 11. I have 10 nieces and nephews, and half of them have graduated from college, and 0 of them are working in the field that they spent all this money to go to college for.
Yeah, definitely. I think with, like, any kind of field that you're looking at in, like, after college, of course there's, like, some that you can find jobs in, but, like, either oversaturated or, you know, sometimes they're teaching you stuff that, like, is outdated, like with coding. I know.
Yeah.
Like, half of my band does, like, coding stuff.
They do?
Yeah, and they, like, a lot of the stuff that they're learning or whatever is like old material because it's, like, not updated.
But it's what's in the books.
Yeah. And yeah, like, I hear all the time of, like, people that they graduate and they have, like, thousands of hours of training and they're super, like, qualified, overqualified, and they can't find a single job because either some, like, positions are like, oh, you're just too qualified, and they don't want you, or they just can't find anything.
Yeah.
And, you know, it has, like, I feel like it has something to do with like, how popularized that you got to go to school kind of thing was, that everybody kind of went to school, and now there's just too many, like, people with degrees out there, and not enough people, like, making chairs and sofas.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. Back when I graduated, it was a long time ago, but none of us went to college. I had some friends that went to college, but I think they did it for more of the party scene, like, well, let's hang out with our friends from high school still, we'll all go. But it's like, it wasn't the things. When my daughter, she enrolled in college her first year out of high school, and I think she misunderstood me. Like, she didn't know me at all. I think she thought that's what I was like, you have to go. I've never been like that. So I think she just saw her cousins doing it. And she went part-time. But then she enrolled again, and I think it lasted a day. And I said to her, if you don't want to go to college, don't, like, save your money. Because I'm not paying for it. And you're certainly not getting any kind of degree or scholarship. She wouldn't apply for anything. So she was like, really? I'm like, yeah. I'm like, if you want to do music, but have a good job, some kind of good job that you could back up, so that if you wanted to get your own place, you could at least pay your bills. I mean, but if this is what you want to do, then you're going to be perfectly happy doing music and making half of what you would make if you had a degree.
Yeah.
Money's not going to make you happy. I mean, it pays the bills. It relieves stress, but it doesn't provide the happiness. So she never went back to school. As soon as we had that talk, I was like, obviously you did not know me at all.
I was a bad student always. I like scraped by, except for like the classes that I cared about or teachers that were just super cool.
They were probably the electives.
Oh well, for me, I really liked language arts and my history classes. Those were always like super cool, and I always like got straight A's just because like the assignments were like it was just like easy, and it was mostly just like writing, which I do all the time now anyway, or reading, which it's fun. So. But like math, oh my God, shoot me in the head. I hate math. I hate doing it all the time. You got to do it. At least simple addition and multiplication.
Right. But basic math, that'll get you through life.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm not doing no algebra. I'm not solving for X.
What do we need that for real? Yeah. Come on.
If I'm going to get a job where I need to solve for X, I'll learn how to solve for X.
Yeah.
But
you're going to hate that job because you hate math.
Yeah, exactly. So for me, I kind of have the thought process that, like, even if I am broke and destitute, if I, actually even sometimes even better because I don't even know if I would enjoy being, like, super famous. But if I did, like, music and it made me feel fulfilled and happy, if I die broke and destitute, which is probably not going to happen,
no, it won't.
But, like, middle class and just...
And happy.
Yeah, exactly. There's there's absolutely no shame with not, becoming super rich.
No, it's not. You get one life. Yeah. And I already told my kids, you got to have some kind of job because this is my life and my money, and I'm not leaving you anything. I'm like, I'm not working to leave it. Yeah. I'm working to spend it. They're like, thanks, Mom.
Can't take it with you.
Nope, you can't. Nope.
I know with, like, a lot of... Where'd the cap go? Oh, there you go. I know with a lot of people that are like have immigrant parents, that there's such a big like emphasis on like you have to get farther than we did.
Yeah,
because
I understand that.
There's just such an anxiety with immigrant parents. Like, I risked my life coming here. We went through so much hardship, and you have to do better than I did. Right. And it puts a lot of pressure on, like, my dad's like that. So, I get it. But, for me, like, in my family, there's always that constant struggle between, like, I just want to do what's going to make me happy, and it's not necessarily going to make me super rich and wealthy. Right. And my father wants me to, like, be just wealthy, you know? And because he got,
he struggled.
Yeah, and he has a home now and a family, and he didn't do what he wanted to do,
Oh.
So, well, to my knowledge, maybe he did want to be an air conditioner technician, but
my nephew does that. Hey.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool job. I have a couple friends who do that now. I think he wanted to work like with sailboats. He'd like.
Oh, really?
He did for a while, but then like 2008 happened, and
so you gotta make it big. You're gonna make a little bit of money for yourself, and you're gonna buy your dad a sailboat.
A boat, yeah, a catamarán. He's always like, get me one of those.
And then he'll be happy, not because you're giving them that, but because you can do that.
Yeah, exactly. That's the main thing. With like immigrant families.
Yeah, I completely get it, but I think that even if you don't make it and become extremely wealthy, I think that as long as you're happy, they're going to be happy still.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. With me, it's like if if I'm just doing what I kind of what I want to do at the moment, you know. And making music is making me happy right now. Playing with my friends on stage almost every night.
Right. Yeah.
That's the reason I do it, you know.
Right.
Sometimes writing music gets annoying. Sometimes I have to push myself to finish a song.
Yeah.
But playing the music and connecting with people, and that's the fun part.
Yep,
Meeting
exactly.
people.
Yeah. And I'm sure like people coming up to you saying, you know, this song, you know, I love this song and I love this about this song, or this song meant this to me. I'm sure you're like, wow, that's like
Always throws me for a loop.
Yeah.
When like, because for us it's like, man, I think maybe we've gotten that like once or twice. But like when it does happen and it's like, oh man, I love this song, I'm like, whoa, really? Because sometimes I hate the song. Sometimes I write it and I go, oh my God, this is terrible.
You're like, oh, are we going to perform this one?
Yeah, no. Like sometimes I just can't wait to just like finish it, get it out of my head.
Right.
But then sometimes people are like, this song, like, oh my God, I love this song. Or some people will like be like, oh, I saw the lyrics, or like I didn't realize like this line, this, and I'll be like, wow. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I wrote that. I'm glad you picked up on it, and I'm happy you like it. It just kind of like, it's so like, I don't know the word for it, and I'm the writer. I can't. I don't know. It's just a weird feeling when it like actually, because you know I think about like, oh yeah, my music connecting with people, but when it actually happens, you're like, whoa,
it happened. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you like? Speaking of your parents, have they come to your shows? Do they like
Yeah.
how supportive are they in that sense?
My mom tries to come to my shows. She's gone to quite a few of them. My bassist mom, like my bassist brings like his whole family, his mom, his dad, his sister, his cousins, his uncle, his uncle's wife.
That's awesome.
Like his grandma, his grandpa.
Oh.
So many shows, it's just like they take up like 2 entire tables.
That's awesome.
Those are the best shows.
Yeah.
Because the venue's happy.
Yeah, they are. They're like, when can you come back?
Yeah, exactly. I love those shows.
Yeah.
Shout out to Zach's family. So yeah, it's always really nice when like a family kind of like supports you in what you want to do.
Absolutely, yeah.
Not everybody has that luxury.
No, they
so
don't.
you know, some people need a little bit more strength than others to kind of do that. But you know especially for like, you know, immigrant families, and you know this applies to like everybody though. When they work so hard to get to a certain like level of comfortability, so that their kids can do, you know, what they want to do.
Right.
Because you know my dad couldn't do that.
Right.
So you know they had to work, and so that they could get to a certain level, so that their kids could. Maybe potentially not have to work.
Right, exactly. Exactly.
The immigrant like part is like not work. They're almost there. They're almost there. It's like, oh, I gotta work so that my kids are nice and you know, so that I can support my family. And then when they support their family and they're like, well, you gotta work.
Right. Like I didn't do this for nothing.
Yeah.
There's no free ride here.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So there's always that like friction.
Yeah.
Where, but you know, for me, you know, I'm obviously grateful that I have the opportunity, and that applies to like everybody who's like children of immigrants or anybody who's children of working class people.
Right.
That now their parents got to a certain level and they can make music, and even some people who their parents didn't get to that certain level and they want to make music and they do it despite whatever situation. 'Cause
right.
I know quite a few people who are like that they have to pay bills and stuff.
Yeah.
You know, I live with my parents. I don't have to pay bills.
Yeah.
So I get to make music. And there are people that do have to pay bills and they still make music. So, you know, that I can only imagine that's way harder.
Yeah, it's not cheap.
No,
it's not cheap
at
all.
So not cheap to live right now.
Oh God, so you have to mortgage your house to go to the grocery store.
Yeah, no, I see it like on the news and I see it like on TikTok and like I see it like everywhere where it's just like so expensive to. I mean, even I'll just like go on Zillow and I'll just look at like the prices of houses and I'll go like, how is anybody supposed to buy? Not right now. This is not.
It's crazy.
No.
And I'm a realtor, and it's crazy.
Yeah. It's bad.
Yeah.
definitely bad. I don't know when it's gonna like.
I think it's gonna go up again. But
Yeah, it should go, back down to like normal prices.
Yeah, because I'll tell you,
eventually.
this house that we're sitting in right now, what it's worth is not what I would ever pay for it. And it's
Exactly.
like they're crazy if they think that.
No, yeah,
Crazy.
I see like homes that I'm like, okay, that's a fine house, maybe like 500K, and then I see and it's like 1.7
Yeah,
million, and I'm
insane.
like, no,
It's insane.
That's terrible.
Yeah,
So hopefully that mellows out.
for sure.
Hopefully,
I hope so, because I don't know what my kids are gonna do. Like, it's.
I'll be homeless, I guess, at this rate.
I'll have all of the local scene rent out a house. They could all live together.
Yeah, no, it's terrible.
Yeah. So, okay, so your songs. What's your favorite song that you've ever written?
Of the ones that are released on Spotify, I think it's a tie between either Mia or Love Me Like Before.
Okay.
They're kind of, just because I like, with Mia, it was a kind of like I had an idea to make a song from this other song that we had covered one time, Golden Brown by the Stranglers, I think.
Okay.
Where it's like in a waltz time, and then the last like bar of the chorus is like in 4/4, and I was like, oh, that's cool, gives it energy. And I wanted to do that with the song. And then I had these lyrics lying around that I wrote from a poem, and I just put that there. And it kind of came together, and I was like, that's nice.
So you kind of joined two things.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
I never throw away ideas.
Right.
If I find something that inspires me and I'll write it down, I will, I'll write it down, and then if I don't like it, I'll just piece it out. And
Right.
maybe the lyrics or kind of a musical idea, I'll find a home for it somewhere else, Sometimes when it's like hard to find inspiration, I think like inspiration like that, it's just so valuable, like throwing it away, like just because it's not sitting with you at the moment.
Right.
It's kind of like stupid. I don't know.
No, I get that.
I don't like John Mayer, like musically.
Oh my God.
But
I don't either. And I don't know if it's his music or if it's his attitude. I haven't decided. My daughter loves him. We always have this argument. I said, John Mayer in the the early 2000s, like, that was the John Mayer that I liked.
yeah.
Now, come on.
John, he's a fantastic musician.
Yeah.
Probably one of the best
100%.
guitarists, like, right now.
So good. Yeah.
But his music is just, like, so, like...
No, I agree.
But he did say something on a podcast, I think, where he said that because I don't like an idea right now, doesn't mean it's bad. It just means that it's ahead of my tastes right now.
Okay.
And I like that because
Yeah.
it's like, sometimes I do warm up to ideas. Sometimes we have a song right now that we're working on that we just call it the stupid song because we think it's stupid. And if we finish it, we might like it, but
Right.
you got to finish it.
Yeah.
There's also like the actual process of writing music is like a skill in and of itself. And if you don't practice that skill by writing and following through, you will be bad when it comes time to finish a song that you actually do like.
Right.
So for me, there's value in like finishing bad ideas, just for the practice
Right.
of it. I think the guy from Weezer wrote like a song a day, and
Oh, wow. A song a day.
yeah. So with that's finishing, that's follow through.
Right.
So he practiced it, and maybe some of them were Buddy Holly, or some of them were really bad. Probably more often than not, really bad.
That's crazy. I could never finish a song. Like, I wouldn't even know where to start. I wouldn't have one word.
Yeah. Honestly, sometimes it takes us like months, and sometimes it takes like less than a week. Sometimes we just go like, here's an idea, and then it's over. And then other times it's like, here's an idea, I hate it.
Right.
And then like, guys, we really should finish that idea. Okay, let's work on it. Ugh. And then, and then it finally takes just like one more little push, and then it all comes together.
Right.
Like, a month later, 2 months later.
Yeah.
But for like writing, either I have an idea or my guitarist has an idea, and then I'll write lyrics, and then there'll be a bass line. And
Yeah, what comes first, your lyrics or the music, or is it just randomly?
Usually it's the music first.
Okay.
Usually we come up with an idea, and then I try and let that idea speak to me, kind of. I don't know. John Mayer also said kind of Ouija boarding.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I pull so much from him creatively, but I don't like his music.
That's funny.
It's like when people like read like Rick Rubin's book, that I mean, Rick Rubin is like super influential as a creative. Can't say that I really like some of this stuff. I mean, I love the new Abnormal. But, you know, Beastie Boys, I can take it or leave it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he worked on Beastie Boys.
No, I know. I didn't know if I was saying, oh, really, to your comment. You
I like one song.
Really? Okay.
I like one Beastie Boys song. That's about it.
Said you are the only person who's ever said that ever, I think, ever.
Probably. I do like Beastie Boys, but just like not... I could take it or leave it.
Right. Did you see the documentary they did on the Beastie Boys?
Oh, no, but I love
you gotta watch it.
I love watching music documentaries.
So do I. It is so good. It was like, how do I say it? They made them what they wanted them to be, sort of say. Almost like it started as a joke sort of thing.
Oh,
and
okay.
it just blew up. You got to watch it.
Funny.
I'll Google the name of it after.
Word.
But it was really good. Okay, so let's talk about the local scene. You've been gigging for a while now.
Yeah, about like 2.5 years, 2 years.
Yeah.
About.
What's your favorite venue to play?
Probably Unseen Creatures.
Oh, okay.
They have an excellent lighting rig, so pictures there always come out fantastic. The beer is super yummy, and they give me 2 of them every time.
Oh, that's nice.
They have like a food truck that does smash burgers outside.
Yeah. Is Angel still doing the bookings there, or?
I think now it's Crystal.
Okay.
And also they pay you a flat rate, so you know it's.
Oh, I didn't know that they played.
So it just always comes out to
Perfect.
Yeah, exactly. So usually I hit them up. They give me a day. I get like maybe 2 or 3 other bands that I really like.
Yeah.
We pull together maybe like 50 people-ish,
Yeah.
hopefully a night. And then, it always comes out to a good show. I've never had a bad show at
Perfect.
Unseen Creatures. And the staff there is super, super
So
sweet.
nice there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they have sound equipment too.
Okay.
So, it's just a lot more than a lot of venues that we've been
Right.
to. That would probably be my favorite, but we haven't played at that many venues. Honestly, we've played at probably a handful of venues. There's just not many venues nowadays.
Yep.
A lot of them are like falling out of profitability, I guess, and they shut down,
Yeah.
or something happens and they get bought out, or
Yeah.
stuff happens. And it sucks because it's like they pay a lot of mind to, oh, this business is not working out.
Right.
I'm going to sell it, blah, blah, blah. And they don't pay enough mind to, like, this is actually like a cultural like hub for what little social life there is in this country.
No, it's true.
It's like kind of depressing when you hear like, oh, yeah, another place got shut down.
It's terrible, yeah.
Las Rosas, I think, Churchill's.
Yeah.
Just really great kind of venues for live music,
Yeah.
and they just kind of shut them down, or they get shut down, or they get bought out, whatever
Yep.
happens, with no regard to the like societal life in South Florida.
Yeah.
It's a bummer.
It truly is.
Yeah.
It is. There's not many great venues that. Yeah, there's not many great ones anymore. Like
I like Gramps.
Gramps is good. I hadn't been to Gramps,
Their
and
pizza's
everybody
awesome.
talked about it. Oh, I never had their pizza. I went
It's
to the
so
taco
good.
place next door.
Oh,
That shit's good.
Yeah.
My God, it was so good. But I finally went to my first show a couple of weeks ago at Gramps. I had never been there. Everybody always talked about Gramps. I don't venture south often, so I was like, JLG and Hadi were playing, so I was like, I got
Yeah.
it. They were playing with Traders, so I said, all right, it's a big show for them, so let me go venture down to Miami. So I got my designated driver, and we went. And but it was fun. Yeah.
I love Gramps because there's it's a kind of venue where you get a lot of like really big artists that just come through there, and they have like a super intimate show because it's a really intimate stage. It's like not very big at all.
Right.
I saw AJJ there. Let me think. I saw The Rare Occasions.
Okay.
Prison Affair was there, but I missed them. It was somebody's birthday, and I was like, ah! But you know, just like bands that are like really like cool that go through there, and you know they have pretty big followings.
Yeah.
And you know I've been to shows. Oh, I saw Mortician there. That was awesome. You know, they could fill that place up, and it won't ever feel like crowded. I don't know how to say it. It's like when you go there, it's like so intimate, and everybody there is so like cool about like, you know, people just moving around. Like everybody there has amazing concert etiquette always. I've never had a bad show where actually when Black Midi came through there and I saw them at Gramps, and the crowd was a little bit like bad manners, but
oh really?
Yeah, it was so bad actually that Black Midi went on Twitter like later and was like, we hated it.
Oh wow. Why do people have to be like that?
It's a combination of like when people who rarely honestly, I was surprised that it happened with Black Midi, but with people who like rarely leave their home to go see a show, and they go like, oh my god, this artist that I listen to a lot is coming to where I live, let me go see them, and they don't go see live shows often. That happens a lot. Like I saw Death Grips at Revolution Live, and it was the worst show I've ever.
Was it really?
I love Death Grips.
Right.
They played like all the cool songs, you know. It was a great show, but the crowd crush was terrible.
Really?
They overbooked that place like crazy. I just don't like when that happens. You know, for me, that I don't like that.
Right.
Because it's like you have a kind of like a safety concerns. You
right.
know,
Absolutely.
You can't be selling too many tickets.
Yeah.
But you know, the crowd was awful. Maybe it's just Fort Lauderdale.
Might be. It might be.
But it was kind of like terrible. And I think Death Grips also went on Twitter to talk about how terrible it was. Yeah. So for I also saw Men I Trust at Revolution Live, and it was kind of a similar experience.
Really?
And I was surprised because it's Men I Trust. You know, there's not a lot of people moshing.
Right.
But at Gramps, when I saw like Mortician, Mortician is a band that's kind of like not super. Like you kind of have to get down a little bit deep into the iceberg to kind of get to Mortician. And I only know of them because a friend of mine was like, you want to go see Mortician? I was like, who is that? And he was like, really cool metal band. And I was like, okay, sure. And the crowd there, the pit, was just so nice. It was a disgusting pit. It was not a push pit, but it was more of a meat grinder. But everybody was super nice, you know. Type of show where like you fall,
they were respectful.
Pick you up. Yeah. If you get punched in the face, they go, "I am so sorry.
Right.
I didn't know you were there. I'm so sorry." You know. Whereas like in, you know, some other place, they'll like punch you and they'll be like, "Why were you there?"
Yeah. No, I completely am seeing in my head the visualization of what you described, and it's so true. And you get a lot of that out.
For me, I think that happens because the people who know about Mortician probably go see live shows a lot, whether it be in their local scene or wherever, you know. So I think that's what it's all about, you know, is people who don't go see shows a lot, when they do go see shows and they don't know how to conduct themselves, and they throw water bottles at people. Yeah. And
that's just ridiculous.
Yeah, that's what I think it is.
Yeah.
You see it especially with like bigger artists like Travis Scott or
oh Lord,
because those the people that listen to Travis Scott definitely don't like go to, because it's Travis Scott, you know, he's not going to come through your town every year. Maybe once in 5 years, especially if it's Florida.
Not many people come all the way south.
No, because it's like you drive 9 hours and you haven't even seen civilization yet.
That's true.
So it's like touring down here is like you come down here and then you go out, and then there's nothing in between. Maybe you can hit Orlando. Gainesville is super cool for indie stuff. Love Gainesville.
Have you done a tour?
I went to see a band that we really, really love called Early Eyes.
Okay.
In Gainesville, they did like an indie fest. I forgot what it was called. I don't think it was with Indie Night. But we saw a festival there, and the scene there was just so like lively because it's a college
town. Yep.
So there's just so many people there that like have nothing to do.
Right.
So they just go like, oh, live bands, absolutely, yeah, let's go and let's drink. So Gainesville is awesome.
Yeah.
If I were to go on tour, I would hit up Gainesville.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Do you have a favorite local band here?
It's a hard question because I have like plenty. Headfoam. Most of my favorite local bands are like punk bands.
Okay.
Because honestly, even though I am in an indie band, most of the shows that I see are like hardcore shows with my friends. But Headfoam, because they're the homies. Let's see, Adhesive. If you got to get it, you should get it.
No, I'm not. I'm looking up. I've heard of Headfoam. I don't know if I follow them. Let's see. Okay.
Headfoam, Adhesive. I love their sound. Let's see. Bloom Dream.
Oh, they're good. Yeah.
Bloom Dream.
Headfoam is F. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, let me follow them.
Yeah, follow them. They're super cool.
Alrighty. Adhesive?
Adhesive. I don't think they have an Instagram, actually. Because I tried to tag them one time, and somebody was like, dude, you tagged a glue company. And I was like, oh, man. Because it was like Adhesive
That
Punks.
is
And I was
so
like,
funny.
they've got to be the band, Adhesive.
I don't follow Bloom Dream, but I've seen Bloom Dream. Okay. Okay.
I'm trying to think if I have any other. Obviously, Father Figure.
Oh.
Love Father Figure. Just such a cool sound, especially because I love Bob Dylan. So it's the whole reason I picked up a guitar was just like, oh, I love Bob Dylan, and I started learning how to play all of his songs.
He sucks at singing. That's
oh yeah, no, he's terrible. He's terrible.
Crazy how big it brings me back to one of my first statements. You don't have to sing good.
No, yeah, for him, he just has such an iconic voice.
Yep.
What I admire about Bob Dylan, even though he's had a bunch of different phases where he like sings different, he's made I don't know how I think 21 records. A lot of records.
It's crazy.
But he always sings like he's never trying to sing like somebody else. You know, he's always just saying like how he wants to sing.
Yep.
And always lyrics that are like true to him. Love Bob Dylan. He's a terrible guitarist too.
Is he really? I wouldn't even know. I'm
All
not
his
going to say
songs
the
are
name,
super
but
easy.
someone told me I'm a terrible bassist, and I'm like, really? He's like, oh yeah, people tell me all the time, and I know I am. I'm like, I didn't know that. I would have no idea.
Yeah, honestly, if you're not a musician, you don't pick up on it,
Right.
and like it doesn't matter. It gets him. He's more of a troubadour. You know, he's just a singer-songwriter. He just writes his poems and he sings them.
Yep.
And it's so powerful.
Right.
His stuff with Joan Baez is really cool.
Did you see that documentary?
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
I saw a couple of them.
There's more than one?
There's the Rolling Thunder Review, and then there's another one, and they made a movie, and they're making another movie actually with Timothée Chalamet where he plays Bob Dylan.
Oh yeah, Mackenzie was telling me about that, and she's like, oh my God, he actually looks like he's going to make a good Bob Dylan.
I am super excited for that one.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love Bob Dylan. So Father Figure. I have yet to see full band Father Figure.
Oh really? Yeah. It's been a while. It's been Mackenzie and Jeremy for a while, but now we're going back to California. She's got her old drummer coming.
Awesome.
So it's going to be the full, because last time it was just her and Jeremy. But have you seen Mackenzie play the drums while she sings? No? Oh, okay.
I've only seen acoustic sets, and I mean, I love the acoustic sets are super super awesome. But I've been dying to see a full band set for a minute.
Yeah.
Because every time I book them, I'm like, is tonight going to be the night? Is it going to be full band? And they're like, no. And I'm like, next time.
Yeah. Yeah, she, see, I'm very, we have totally different taste in music, Mackenzie and I. I mean, I love what she does. It's not my first choice of music. It's good for moments and times, I think, but like I could always like I'm more of the harder like my favorite is 30 Seconds to Mars.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like a diehard Medicine Room fan.
Yeah.
Like that's and it's totally like my daughter's this little folk thing. So when she was in another band that was like rock, like harder, and she was the drummer. And then when she was leaving that band, I literally mourned for like a year. I was like, oh God. And that's what made me start the podcast.
Yeah.
I was like, well, I'm going to start meeting all these other bands then and helping them because.
Cool. That's so awesome. That's what I love about like the music scene, at least from what I have seen down here, is like everybody has their thing that they do down here. Like, and I don't see it too much with the indie kids, but with the hardcore community, man, I mean, everybody, they are a photographer or they make zines or they write, articles or they do visual art.
Yeah.
Or they do, interviews and podcasts and stuff like that. And it's just so cool because when that happens, or even just going to the shows and being a fan, when that happens, it's just like you're giving back to, you're making it a community,
Yeah.
When it's just bands and they just play for people, and sometimes the people don't even show up, that it's not much of a community at all. But when everybody kind of has a thing that they do, it's super tight knit.
Yeah.
It's super awesome.
It is.
That's why I really love the punk scene.
Oh, yeah. Oh, sure. It's my first show that I did is so funny because when I started this, it wasn't, the scene was not as big as it is now. Like it's grown. I've seen it grow, and it's probably going to get much, much, much bigger. But I've seen some break away, some are still together. But like I did my first show, and it was like none of the bands knew each other. It was like 18 bands. It was all day, all night.
Wow.
It was so fun. It was the funnest thing I'd ever done. And I was so happy with that show because at the end of the day, all the bands were exchanging numbers. They were like following each other on Instagram, and then I was seeing like they were doing shows together after. I was like, that's why I wanted to do this.
Yeah.
It was really like I wanted to cry.
Networking is so fun.
It's huge. You have to. Yeah.
That's honestly that's what I've like, besides just trying to get shows for my band, because I think when we started doing shows, people were like, we were kind of new. People were like, oh, you guys are cool, like let's do a show. And I was like, yeah. And then we stopped to like do some writing, and we focused up to record. And we stopped doing shows for a little bit, and then when we came back, everybody had forgotten about us. They were like, Seda Sol, except for like the bands that we like, that are like our real life friends.
Yeah.
Everybody just like nobody was asking us to play at anything, so we started like doing like throwing shows ourselves. Cold calling venues. I think there were days where I would like literally call like 10 places.
Yep. You have to do that.
And just be like, hey, you have a stage, can I play there? Hey, you have a stage, can I play there?
Yep.
And some places are about it, and then other places are not.
Right.
And luckily, the ones that I have had the good fortune of meeting, they have like management that kind of wants to cultivate a music scene, at least as to maybe some of them are a little bit more about like, oh, it brings people that buy beer.
Yeah.
But there are a few places where it's like they care about the music, and that's what it's about.
Very few.
Very, very, very few.
They're like, how many people are you going to bring?
Exactly. Yeah. But that's kind of what it's like. What makes it so cool is like going out and doing it yourself, because then you invite people, and then they go, thank you so much, and then they invite you, and then you give and you get. That's kind of what it's about.
That's
in terms
exactly
of
what
like
it is. Yeah.
like gigging. You know, doing it yourself, DIY is it's the lifeblood of music scenes.
Yeah.
And if you don't DIY, then like you don't have anything.
Right. Yep.
So that's kind of what got us out of that little like nobody was calling us slump.
Right.
Is we would throw shows, and we would invite bands that we like or we wanted to hear live.
Right.
And then we would exchange fans, exchange numbers, and kind of get to know each other.
Yep.
And do more shows. And that's and now we have people calling us all the time and being like, hey, do you want to do a show? And,
Right.
and we're like, yes. I always say, if we can physically be there, we will do it.
Right.
Like, they're like, hey, it's like 30 minutes away and there's no pay. You might get a beer, maybe, if you talk to the right person. And we go, yes, absolutely.
No, but that's the best attitude to have, because you never know. It's all about the right place, right time. I
Yeah.
feel that way 100%. You never know who's going to be there, ever. It could be someone that knows someone. It could be like someone that had absolutely no interest in music, and then you did something to them, and then they're like, wait, I want to do something with you. It's
Yeah.
like, you never know. So I don't think you should ever turn a show down. Some bands don't agree with me, but
Yeah.
it's just, like you said, if you can physically be there, then...
Yeah, I get it, because some bands, they have to make money. And because some bands want to live off of what they do, and that's completely valid.
Yeah.
Some bands have, like, asking prices where, it's like, oh, if you want to play with us, we have to get a certain amount of money. And that's fair. Some bands ask for a ridiculous amount of money, and, and they price out a lot of the people that want to play with them or want to play where the location. But for me and my band, at least for me,
Right.
maybe my band, they want to get paid. It's not about the money,
Right.
We've done plenty of shows where it was just like, hey, we're not going to pay you. And I was like, don't worry about it.
Right.
But if we'll never say no to money.
Right. No.
We'll never say no to money, but
Yeah, I can imagine. No, you keep that.
yeah, exactly. Even if it's just like, hey, tonight's cut, your band's cut is $30 for the 4 of you. I go, yes. Let's go to McDonald's.
Right.
Let's go get us a cone.
Go through the McDonald's apps.
Yeah.
Get the discount there. That's so funny.
But like, I think last week, might have been last week. I think it was last week. We did a show at FIU. It was like literally they invited us like 2-3 days before. It was for the Trans Visibility Day event that they had at FIU. That I think one of the clubs, the Young Democratic Socialists of America at FIU club, did, and we were like 3 days notice and no pay at FIU on the lawn with FIU. It had like a terrible loadout situation because it was just like pull up your car to a place where you might get ticketed by the FIU campus police, and then get your equipment out of there as quickly as possible, run across a field in the blistering sun, and then set up in the middle of the field. And I was like, okay. And then we did it, and we had like something like 20-something people like follow us the next day.
See?
And we were like, wow, a lot of people were like,
awesome.
Because, I guess FIU is like our prime demographic.
Right. Yeah, no, it's true.
So, it was a cool show. We play with bands and artists that were really cool,
Right.
and we met a lot of cool people, and it was for a good cause. So,
Right.
it's always, I see value in saying yes to everything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree with you 100%.
Yeah.
Yep. All right. I've got some questions for you. This is our
Awesome.
You Can Tell Moms Anything segment here. Just so your fans can get to know you.
Awesome.
Okay.
Hi to the 3 of you.
Oh, my gosh. You just got 20 last week.
Oh, you're true.
Okay. So outside of music, do you have a job?
Technically, I do the social media and the booking for the Titanic.
Mm-hmm.
Before that, I was doing, I was at Musicians Discount. Shout out. Best music store.
Okay. Where's that located?
It's in Cutler Bay. It's on
Okay.
US 1. It's like in the West Perrine area.
All right.
I love that place. That place is super awesome.
Okay.
This is not paid promotion.
Okay.
The boss, he's super cool when he wants to be. His name is Mike.
Okay.
And Raph from Headphone also works there too.
Okay.
And that's how I met him. I started working there because I was like, well, I want to make some connections in the scene.
Right.
So working at a music store is probably the best start. And yeah, I met so many people that working there, so many cool people. Like, it would just be like a regular day, and then like one of the Marleys would pop in and be like, I need my guitar fixed. And I would be like, I will fix your guitar. And, or, just regular people that come in looking for vinyls or
Right.
music stuff, and it's just a super cool spot.
Right.
So that was my job. I also had like some office jobs, but those were super. I hated it. I hated it so much, and they were like terrible companies too.
Oh, really?
I'm not gonna say anything because I don't want to get sued.
Right?
They're
Yeah,
not
no.
that powerful.
No,
But
you're not.
but I hated it, so so I quit those, and I'm doing kind of music thing full time.
Okay. All right. So, you already said that your family is from Brazil?
My family's from Cuba. The guitarist family is from Brazil, and our old drummer. Well, we've actually had 3 drummers. We're on our 3rd drummer now.
Oh, really? Okay.
Igor, the drummer that we had before the one that we have right now, his family was also from Brazil.
Okay.
They actually both came from Brazil, like middle school, I think.
Oh, okay.
So they were like, they're still super Brazilian. They're
Right.
not like Americanized. And my guitarist is actually the one that put me on like all of the music that I listen to now, like the Brazilian indie scene.
Uh-huh.
And that's kind of where we get it. But my bassist and me, we're both Cuban, from Cuban families.
Have you been back to Cuba to visit, or?
When I was little.
Yeah.
When I was little, I did go, because my mom wanted me to see like my great grandmother,
Okay.
and the rest of my extended family. And it's a beautiful island.
Right.
Obviously, the embargoes
Yeah.
kind of left that place a ruin, and you know that, but it's still a beautiful island, and you know, lots of family there. So
Okay. All right. So you spoke that you had a significant other for one song that you wrote. Are you currently dating anyone?
I am currently dating somebody.
Sorry, everyone.
I am currently dating somebody. I haven't had a chance to write a song about that experience, but a lot of the songs that I've written are in some roundabout way about somebody that either I knew, was friends with, or dated, or some of them are just about like just life experiences in general. Like I know one of them I wrote. I was eating hamburgers with my bassist.
Okay.
And he had just graduated, like high school, and he's like, he was conveying to me a feeling. He was like, kind of talking about how like, oh my God, I don't know like what I want to do. Like, you know, the band is cool, but like I really like I don't know what I want to do at all. You know, I just graduated, and I was like, oh my God, throwback. I remember feeling this exact way when I had just graduated. So and that kind of like, it's like kind of like an anxiety to like, you have to do something and make something of yourself. And I wrote about that for one of the songs.
Okay.
And yeah, so I try and do like things like that. Like some of the songs, if I think about them, like if I could speak to a younger me, this is what I would say, kind of.
Right.
But then sometimes it's but then at the same time, I'm like, oh, this sounds patronizing. so sometimes I shy away from that and I write about other stuff.
Right.
But it kind of just depends.
Right. Okay. All right. So tell me one fun fact about yourself that not many people know.
I am a citizen of the European Union.
Oh, interesting.
Through my Spaniard citizenship.
All right.
And I have 8 cats.
8?
Yeah.
What kind?
Oh, man. I didn't know there were kinds.
Oh, for real? I'm not a cat person, but I came across a cat the other day that I was like, I have to have this cat. And I sent it to my sister and asked her, because she has cats, if I could keep my cat at her house. And she said no. But look at this cat.
Oh, my God. That is so cute.
Isn't it adorable?
That is...
Oh, my God.
I love when they have, like, non-conventional, like, kind of faces.
Yeah. She's got to have some Persian. I mean, look at this. Oh, my God.
So cute. I know...
It should be a part of the family, right?
all white cats are kind of hard find.
It's amazing, right? Oh, God.
I have... let's see. I have... the oldest one is Rubia. She's going on, I think, 13 now.
Okay.
And then I have... Let's see. I'm trying to go backwards in order. I have Marlin, who is an all-black cat. He's one of 2 boys. Then I have... Then I have Oreo, who probably looks exactly as
black and white.
Yeah, little tuxedo cat.
Aww.
And then I have Abby. There's a breed called like Abyssinian that kind of looks like gray, brown, speckle kind of thing.
Okay, all right.
And she kind of looks like that. And then there's Mercy, another little black cat, also a girl. Then I have Juliet, another black cat that I think was raised by dogs or something because she is just, and she never shuts up. She talks. Like,
oh, that's so funny.
She like if you say like hello, she'll be like, ah.
Oh my gosh, that's adorable.
Yeah, and she kind of like waves.
Oh, stop.
Yeah.
How old is she?
I have no idea. One day we were doing our doors, and we had no doors or windows, and she just walked in and slept on the couch.
It's like, hey, I'm here.
And we have 2 black cats, so we thought it was one of them. But then we realized,
God.
oh, you are a completely different cat.
Squatters' rights, you know.
Yeah, and she like never left.
That's
so
so funny.
So that's that cat. Super cool. Sleeps in my room a lot. And then Pepper. Pepper's actually older than some of them.
I had a Pepper. I had a salt and pepper. And then one was salt, one was pepper. Growing up when I was a little girl. Yeah.
Pepper is like white and gray.
Okay.
And I actually have them tattooed on my arm.
Do you? Oh my gosh. All of them?
No. 2 of them.
Oh my gosh.
I have Pepper on one arm. I can't get my buttons off. Whatever. I'll send you a picture if I have them. On one arm I have Pepper, and then on the other arm I have Pazuzu.
We haven't talked about Pazuzu.
Pazuzu is the last one that I got, like maybe a couple months ago.
Okay.
Found him in somebody's backyard, very small. They were like, "Hey, you have cats?" And I was like, "Yeah, I do." And well, let's get one more. And
that's one more when you have 7 already, right?
Yeah, exactly. So, and he's another tuxedo, and again, one of only 2 boys.
Aww.
And yeah, he's makes a mess. He like digs through garbage.
Oh my gosh.
Each one is super like individual, and they all have their own like character quirks. I've had like a lot of dogs too. I've had more cats than I've had dogs. I think I've had maybe 5 dogs in my entire life. But I feel like dogs, when you have like each breed has its own kind of personality.
Yep, they do.
And they don't deviate from that too often. Maybe you'll meet like a dog that's like super smart and it's like almost sentient. And I've seen those ones that like presses on buttons and they speak.
Oh no, for real. So you can teach dogs to do anything.
Yeah,
it's crazy. They're so smart.
Those are funny. But for cats, you could have 5 of the same exact breed from the same exact litter, and they will all be super different.
Different personalities.
They're like either like paranoid schizophrenic, where they're just running around all over the place like somebody's trying to kill me at all times.
That is hysterical.
There is like the super lazy cat that is just like super friendly and doesn't care what you do with it. Just be like, you could pick me up and throw me around. I don't care. As long as you don't like slam me into a wall.
Right.
and they're super chill. And then there's the cat that's like, oh, I am the boss of everything.
Right.
And it acts like it doesn't love you, but it like follows you around.
Yep.
And then it's like, don't look at me.
Playing hard to get.
Yeah, exactly.
That's funny.
And then there are some cats that act like dogs, like golden retrievers.
Right.
There's just so many, like, they're so unique, and each one has their own like little quirk. I have a cat, Oreo. She doesn't like drink water like normally. She like dips her paw in the water and then like licks the paw.
Oh my God, it's adorable.
And I've never seen a cat that does that.
I haven't either.
And so far, I've had 2 cats that do this. One was when I was a kid, and the Pazuzu does this, where he'll roll around in dirt, just for no reason.
Oh, really?
Just he'll see, like, if you sweep and there's like a little pile of dirt on the floor, he'll just run right up to it and roll around in it and just get dirty on purpose.
That's funny.
I don't know why, but
My dog does that same thing. My dog has completely destroyed my backyard. I'm waiting until he gets a little bit, he's only a year and a half now, a little bit older to redo it. But he has this one dirt pile that he's created, and he lays in it. And I took a video of him one morning just sitting there, like, on top of the dirt pile, sniffing the air, and he's, like, so proud of what he had just done to my backyard. I was like, this little bastard.
Some animals just really like just getting dirty for no reason. It's adorable. But yeah, I have 8. And those are the ones that are inside. There's more outside.
Oh, you have more?
but those are just like maybe like a pregnant cat will roll through, give birth, and then there will be a litter of kittens outside, and then they'll just grow up. And sometimes they'll like move away, and sometimes they'll stay.
Yep.
But there's always like a family in the backyard of cats.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess in total I have maybe like 13 or 14.
We have 2 stray cats that live in our backyard. My husband was walking the dog one day, and he called me. I was showing property, and he's like, he calls me Bun. He's like, Bun, there's a cat here, like, and it doesn't look like it's healthy. And I'm like thinking, okay, how is this my problem? I'm not even there right now. So my niece is a vet tech.
Mm.
He was going down the street. He was walking my dog. That's what he was doing. He was walking the dog. He was going down the street to pick up our youngest from her friend's house. Well, he made the mistake of showing my daughter this cat that can't even move. And so she's like now calling me as I'm trying to show property, asking what to do about this cat. I'm like, all right, you guys are there. I'm not there. You need to figure it out. Like, I'm working. And so they called Allie, my niece, who is a vet tech, and she came over right away because she just loves animals. She didn't know what to do with this cat. The cat couldn't even. It was weird. It was like moving, like, but then flipping, and it was just like really like something not right with it. Mm. So I told her, just put the cat back in the bushes. Just, I mean, seriously. And they're like, no, you can't do that. She brought the cat home because she's going to bring it to the vet that she works at the next day. This cat's got everything wrong with it. Okay, she still has a damn cat. It's a full-grown cat now. It's blind. It has like a brain issue, like a neurological thing. That's why it can't walk. It flops everywhere. It just flops. And so they have to like hold it to eat. They have it living in like this house because it can't see and it flops. But it can find its way somehow to the litter box on the other side of the little house that they made for it. But I mean, all right, he's blind. He's got the neurological disorder. He had ringworm. He had like all, because it was outside, you know. Yeah. Like, I'm telling you, you got to really love an animal this is a life.
Yeah.
Oh, and now it has seizures, so they have to give a seizure medicine two times a day. So they plan their days around giving this cat this medicine. Mm-hmm. It's just the craziest thing, and I mean, I'm telling you, I couldn't do it.
I had a cat that had asthma, and I had to like, give him his little like nebulizer.
You've got to be kidding.
Every once in a while, and so sometimes cats like get sick. At least they know what was wrong with it, because sometimes I'll take a cat to the vet and I'll spend like $300.
Oh Lord!
And they'll be like, "Don't know." Yeah. And I'll be like, "I didn't spend $300 for you to tell me you don't know." And you just like it. They're so expensive. They charge like person prices for animals.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
I hate it.
She's so lucky that she was able to just bring this cat to the vet that she worked.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
I can't tell you how many times I've brought a cat. One time I called off work because my cat was limping like really hard.
Oh,
like
God.
he refused to step on this one paw.
Aww.
Paid maybe $700
oh, Lord.
in x-rays. And
oh, stop. Oh, my God. That's
nothing.
Love.
No broken bones, nothing.
Just a sore pad?
And while we were at the vet, he just started walking normally.
Of course.
Again.
I would have kicked him across the room.
It was
like, now I'm going to give you a reason for me to spend this money.
I was so mad at him. I was like, I can't believe you made me call off work, because I thought he's a little bit dumb. I thought maybe he jumped off of something that was like too high for him. Mm-hmm. But honestly, I've never seen a cat like that like hurt himself doing like crazy stunts. Mm-hmm. They're made of rubber sometimes. Right. Honestly, they like fall like in the most ridiculous ways, and you go like, "Oh my God, you broke your arm," and then they're like, they just walk away like it was nothing, and I go, "Okay,
so funny.
There goes one of your lives, I guess."
Right?
But
that is funny.
That sometimes you spend like way too much money, and it was like a tummy ache.
Yeah. I just, man, $700 for him to be perfully fine.
Yeah, it was way too much. Like for x-rays and
That's
everything.
love. But that means you're a nice guy.
Yeah. I'll spend any amount of money for my cats. My mom too. My mom is the same exact way.
Yeah.
I would not have so many animals if my mom wasn't like a complete animal lover. Mm-hmm. So usually if I'm like, "Oh my God, Mom, one of the cats is it's limping. She'll be like, oh no. And then I'll take them to the vet. She'll be like, how much do they want? I'm like, $700, Mom. I don't know. She'll be like, give them the money.
Oh my God, that is hysterical.
I'm like, ugh.
My brother-in-law, when he met my sister, he had 2 cats, and it was a Persian. All right, Annie was the calico. She was the mom.
Mm-hmm.
She was so pretty. And then she had a Fluffy, who was part Persian and part calico.
Oh, wow.
Annie lived to be 24 years old.
Wow.
It's insane. I think that Fluffy lived to like 19 or something, but man,
the first cat that I had growing up was this cat named Troncho. It was this like Siamese cat.
Oh, I love Siamese cats.
My parents had her. I don't even remember anymore. It was like a really long time ago. But when they were in Spain, because my brother was born in Spain, they lived there in the 90s, and then they moved here like in 2000, and I was born here in 2001.
Okay.
And they brought the cat. So the cat was like, my dad found like this cat ran over on the side of the street. He was like, oh, that's so sad. Drove past it. And then when he came back from work, it was still there. And he was like, let me check on it. And it was like still alive. And he was like,
oh my
wow.
God.
So he picked it up and they took it home. And this is the same man that'll be like, oh, too many cats in this house. Why did you pick up this cat? Blah, blah, blah.
That's so funny.
And so he's always the one that's cuddling up with the cats though. So
that's how it usually is.
Yeah. So, but yeah, this cat that they like adopted and that they thought was like dead on the side of the street and they brought from Spain, lived to be like 20-something.
Isn't it crazy?
Yeah, super old. Sometimes cats
and he
just like refuse to die.
If he was left there, right?
Yeah. Sometimes cats just like refuse to die.
God.
Usually if they have like no like crazy like medical problems, like they usually live a pretty long life.
Yeah.
Really
and with the money that you're spending on them, I'm sure you're going to be stuck with your cats for a long time.
Yeah, no, and they better. If I'm spending $700 for a tummy ache, they better stay alive for another decade at least.
Oh, that's so funny. Okay, so let's see here. Are you more into brains or looks?
I guess brains. Just because looks fade.
Yeah.
But and honestly, it's like I'm gonna be real bored with somebody who doesn't have brains.
Right. Imagine that conversation.
Yeah. More than anything, it's about somebody that can make me laugh.
Right.
That's what I look for more than anything.
Yeah.
If I can have a conversation with somebody, and I have a really great time, that I care more about that than like looks.
Right.
Or brains.
Okay.
But I can't be with somebody who's stupid.
I couldn't either. I talk to some people. I'm like,
no, yeah.
How do you get through life?
Sometimes I'll meet a woman who's gorgeous, and not anymore. But sometimes I'll meet a woman who's gorgeous, and
just to clarify that,
and I'll walk away from the conversation going like, oh my God, like it's a miracle you can walk and breathe at the same
right?
time. Like, man,
it's crazy, right?
And that goes for like a lot of people. Some people are just so like rocks up there.
For real. Okay. So you're going to a deserted island, but you can take 3 things with you. What would you take?
Okay. A knife.
Okay.
Let me think. I would say a knife, a roll of duct tape.
Okay.
And a tarp.
Okay.
I would say a knife, a roll of duct tape, and a tarp. So you can just do so much with that.
Yeah, no, duct tape, yeah.
A tarp, you can collect water.
You can. That's a good thought, yeah.
Duct tape, I mean, you could just duct tape literally does everything.
No, it does.
With my bag, whenever I go gigging, I just always bring duct tape. Just so many situations, just like, duct tape.
Right. No, it's true.
And a knife for obvious reasons.
Obviously.
Tie it to the end of a stick.
Yeah.
A spear. Catch a crab. Kill it.
Use your duct tape to get it to the end of the stick.
Exactly. So that's probably what I was really quick with that answer. I've probably thought about this way too much.
That's funny. Okay. So if you could be a member of any past or current music group, which one would it be?
Oh, man. I love Pink Floyd.
Okay.
Probably like one of my favorite bands ever. For a really long time when I was in middle school, high school, it was all I listened to.
Right.
Where it would just be like countless hours just listening to their stuff. But I would hate to be in their band because Roger Waters is an asshole, and so is David Gilmour. I've heard. I've never met them personally.
I've heard that too.
But that's, I mean, they must be. It's not hard to keep a band going. I've heard, my music teacher told me that it was like keeping a 5-way or a 4-way marriage. And honestly, it is true. Because sometimes...
You have to keep everyone happy.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Like when we're writing stuff, sometimes we'll write something and maybe I won't like an idea that they have, but like I'm not going to be like, oh, no, I don't like that, change it. I'll let them like influence a song their own way, because one, it's just my opinion, and you know that might not necessarily, like I hate songs that are very popular, so maybe their opinion on how the song should be is like super, maybe somebody will love it, you know, who cares? So who am I to be the arbiter of what's good or not? But more importantly, it's like I want them to feel like they have a say,
right? Of course, yeah.
Everything. So that's what I would say. For Pink Floyd, I mean, it's like it's not hard to just not be an asshole.
It's true.
I feel like that. Like if I was there, I would just be like, "Oh my God, you guys are the worst." So I think if I had to pick a band to be in, I think I would say the Strokes.
I was gonna say the Strokes.
I think I would say the Strokes. Maybe Denno Ray. They look like they're or the Smashing Pumpkins. I hear that they need a guitarist.
I love they're die hard.
So, but I would probably say the Strokes just because like Julian Casablancas is like such a like everything he writes is just so interesting. Like he has such a knack for it. And they seem like cool guys.
Yeah.
I've never seen anything where they were like, oh, he eats babies secretly.
Oh God.
I've never seen any like drama
right.
Like that around them. So
it's good when bands stay out of drama. It's important to keep everybody happy, especially when you have good chemistry to begin with. And Pink Floyd definitely, they had what needed to be had at that time.
Yeah.
But I've heard the same thing as you.
Yeah, I've heard, because I think there was just like a drama with like David Gilmour and Roger Waters with creative differences, and Roger Waters was just like, I think, this is like from what I vaguely remember from reading a magazine of what I'm sure somebody vaguely remembers. So, you know, all of this with a grain of salt. But something about Roger Waters just being like a perfectionist, and he always wanted to supersede like in quality what they did before. Like, okay, we did Dark Side of the Moon, now we have to do something even better. Right. And David Gilmour kind of was just like, hey man, that's kind of like crazy. Like you're, you know, we just wrote Dark Side of the Moon. Maybe we can like not have to aim for perfection, and it's like, no, it has to be perfect. And then there was like a lawsuit, and he's like, okay, but I keep the name. And it's like, okay.
I didn't even realize that they had a lawsuit about that.
Yeah, they did. Roger Waters sued to keep the name Pink Floyd. So that's why I've seen Pink Floyd twice and not Roger Waters twice. Or is it the other way around?
No, I know Roger Waters. He travels by himself.
Maybe David Gilmour kept the name, and Roger Waters is the one who lost it.
Well, because now he tours under Roger Waters, so maybe that's why.
Yeah, because I've seen Roger. I don't know, something like that. Once again, grain of salt.
Exactly, yeah. Okay, so you're gonna have a dinner with 4 people, alive or dead, whichever, any people in the world. Who are they?
Oh man, not Jay-Z.
Okay, then Jay-Z, you're not going.
I see those memes. It's like $500,000 or a dinner with Jay-Z.
Oh really? Oh, I've never seen that.
It's That's so funny. And then it was like, imagine losing $500,000 for Jay-Z to eat dinner with you instead of across from you. And so you should have kept the money. That would be the smart thing.
Heck yeah. I can't even believe that would even be an option in anybody's mind to even think twice about.
No, yeah, $500,000. I mean, no offense to Jay-Z, I don't think he has. Like,
I would do $500. I'd take the 500.
Yeah, but if I had how many people?
4.
4 people. I'm trying to think of who would just be the most interesting characters to have at a dinner table. Bryan Cranston looks really cool.
Oh my God! Could you imagine? Yes, and he seems like a fun person to talk to too.
I think I think Bryan Cranston. Let's see. Man. I'm trying to see if there's a musician I think would be really cool.
Mm-hmm.
I guess Bob Dylan.
Okay, yeah.
Bob Dylan's kind of funny. He's like, he did this one thing where one time he went to Justin Bieber's birthday party dressed as Justin Bieber.
Are you kidding?
And made fun of him.
Oh, my God.
And he's like a grown man.
That is hysterical.
I think that's really funny.
That is so funny.
So he's definitely got a sense of humor. And I guess I would, for the next two, I want to throw a curveball in there, just for fun.
Okay.
Let's pick. Mark Wahlberg, just because I think he talks funny.
Yeah, and I think he's a good guy too, but
I don't know if he's a good guy. He's from Boston, but but I think he talks funny.
That's so.
And
funny.
I would definitely.
He's not bad to look at, so
he's kind of handsome. I would say just to have him, just to hear him be like, man, this food's really good, huh? Just some.
I will say you just did that perfectly because every single time I complain. While I do like him as a person, I hate watching him act because it's so breathy.
Yeah, he's literally just Mark Wahlberg in a movie. I saw Ted. Ted's really funny.
Oh God, yeah, that was a funny movie.
Or you know what? Better than that, I'll do Seth MacFarlane.
Okay, all right. This would be a fun dinner.
Isn't that the guy from Family Guy? The guy that?
Yes, I believe that is him.
Yeah, him over Mark Wahlberg.
Okay.
I think he's funnier.
Yeah, he is.
Oh, and Norm Macdonald.
Who's
the comedian?
Oh, the comedian.
Yeah.
Norm Macdonald. No, oh my God, his voice.
Yeah, he would be so that. I can't believe I didn't say Norm Macdonald first. Yeah, Bryan Cranston. I forgot who was the second one. Seth MacFarlane and Norm Macdonald.
Now it's gonna drive you crazy who the second one was. All right.
I think I said Bob Dylan.
Bob Dylan. That's what it was. Yeah. Okay.
That would be an amazing dinner.
That would be a fun dinner.
Yeah.
That would be fun.
I wouldn't even say anything. I would just sit there and watch him like yap. I'd be like, you guys are funny.
Sit back and eat. That's funny. Okay. So, what's the most unusual thing that you've ever eaten?
Most unusual thing I've ever eaten. I'm not really much of like a foodie. Like I don't.
Oh, I'm a huge foodie.
I don't think I've ever been like, oh, let me. In fact, I think it's the opposite. I think if I pick out a dish that I really, really like, I will never eat anything else for as long as I live. I will go to the point where 107 Taste right next to FIU. I don't even get the menu. I just
order that same thing.
Go there, sit down, and I know exactly how much money I need to have.
That's so funny.
And I go, give me the gyozas, the fried gyoza chicken for the protein, and a Japanese danburi with steak, and that's it. And then I'll be like, yep, this is exactly what I was expecting because I've had it a million times.
A million times, yep.
But I guess, crocodile meat one time. Crocodile or alligator?
Alligator.
Alligator.
Yeah.
I don't know which is the one that's
alligator
faux pas
tail?
to eat. I think so.
Alligator, yeah.
Because I went somewhere that was like, and I was like, oh, okay. It just tasted like chicken.
Yeah.
So
when it's made right, it's so good.
yeah.
So I've had it where it's like tough in it, but
Yeah,
like,
that's probably the
Most
strangest
unusual
thing
thing.
I've ever eaten, I think.
which is unusual because some people wouldn't ever eat that.
Yeah, some people don't know that it's like something that people eat. Some
Right.
people go like, oh my God,
Mm-hmm.
why?
Yeah.
Well, it tastes good.
My kid wouldn't. My kid's like got 5 staple foods, and that's what we alternate. It's like
Yeah, I mean, that's how it is
chicken,
sometimes.
rice, pizza, bagel bites. It might just be those 4.
You can't go wrong with that.
That's crazy.
I was a really picky eater. I've only like recently broke out of it where it was like I would eat like dry Cheerios and like maybe chicken nuggets
Oh, jeez.
when I was a kid. But now my palate's kind of grown and yeah, I have like salmon, chicken.
Oh, I hate salmon.
Really?
Hate salmon.
Love salmon.
I like fish, but I hate salmon.
I could probably eat it every day for the
And
rest
then
of my
I tried it. Everybody was like, "Oh, it's just because you had it wasn't cooked the right way." So I tried it again, and I was like, "Nope, that's not why."
I will say that whenever I eat salmon, like at a restaurant, I never like it.
Right.
I go like,
You have to cook it yourself.
not as good as my mom's.
Aw. Nothing's ever as good as mom's food.
Yeah, it's made with love.
Just try this. Oh, okay. I didn't see it. Okay. Now we are going to move on to rapid fire.
Awesome.
Have you ever played rapid fire?
I don't think so.
Oh. So you say the first thing that comes to mind.
All right.
You ready? All right.
As ready as I'll ever be.
All right. What celebrity annoys you the most?
Ariana Grande.
Oh my gosh, you're so good at this. You might be my top player. Okay. If you could be an animal, what animal would it be?
I would be a bird.
Oh my God, you're amazing. Are you a morning or a night person?
I'm definitely a morning person.
Ooh, really? I'm not at all.
It's give or take.
I went to church with my youngest and my mom this morning,
Mm-hmm.
and my mom's all like, "Oh, hey, how are you doing?" We're like, "Good." And I'm like, "I'm not a morning person."
I'll
and neither is
definitely
she.
say that it depends on like how you sleep. When I would like run a lot, and I got this like runner's watch.
Okay.
And a little feature of it is that it would tell you about like how you sleep.
Mm-hmm.
So it'll show you like at what time you were sleeping, like a deep sleep or a light sleep.
Oh, I always wanted something like that.
It was a Garmin Forerunner 45, and it comes with like a little companion app.
Oh.
And it does everything. I love that watch. It was $200, best $200 bucks.
Right.
Well, actually, my mom got it for me.
What happened to it?
Oh man, I was at a show. I was seeing King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard,
Oh,
and
King Gizzard.
the band snapped. But they recently they upgraded it, so now like the failure point that like broke when I was in the mosh pit. By the way, I was like on the floor of that venue for like an hour looking for my phone and my watch.
Oh, shit.
And I did end up finding both of them.
You've got to be kidding me.
Yeah.
Well, the fact that you went into a mosh pit with your phone is like,
Yeah.
I would have been like, all right, hold this,
Yeah,
I'm in.
I had it in my pocket, but I found like 6 phones
I'm
in
sure
the
you
process
did.
of finding mine. But I eventually found mine. Like they were closing up. I found the owner. I was like, "Hey, phone." They were like, I keep myself as my wallpaper.
Right. Okay.
And
All right.
it was they were like, "This is you." Yeah. Here you go.
That's awesome.
But-
Was it trampled and broken or anything?
Surprisingly, no.
Wow.
I was like, "Wow, this is so cool." But yeah, so the watch, it shows you how you sleep, and I would always be like, "Oh, I'm not a morning person." But then the watch, it showed me when I was at my lightest sleep, and there was like, set your alarm for when you should wake up, and how long do you want to sleep? So if I was like, I want to sleep 7 hours, it'll put an alarm for me to wake up when I'm like at my light sleeping. So, and after that, I never had I would literally wake up like, I'm ready to do everything. And I would just do my morning exercises and all that. And that, super cool. So that could probably help.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Do some research into that.
I will.
That definitely, like, it was like a distinct, like, difference when I would sleep up, like, during a heavy sleep cycle.
Right.
Where my body's still asleep. And I'm just like, versus when I wake up and I'm in a light cycle and
Right.
I'm like ready to wake up.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't know about it, and I was like, wow, this is like
That
everybody
sounds.
should know about
Yeah,
this.
no, it's so cool.
Yeah, so check it out.
I will.
If you're
I will.
not a
I'm
morning
gonna.
person.
I am not. Don't think anybody in this family is, so I'll get one for everybody. Okay. All right. What's the first thing you do when you wake up in the morning?
Now run.
Okay. If you could get a yacht, what would you name it?
I just wouldn't get a yacht. Yeah, I would name it Escape from L.A.
Okay. Why?
BoJack reference.
Oh, okay. Okay. Who's the most overrated musician?
Oh my God, I usually have an answer for this. Most overrated musician. Man, this isn't super rapid, is it?
It always falls south. It's like starts off good and strong.
Oh man, I think. Drake. I think Drake. But even then, man.
You know, you were not the first person that's ever said Drake. So.
Yeah, I that's like the safe answer. But I will say that Drake, he makes some cool music.
Yeah.
Sometimes, like I have a lot of friends that really like Drake, and sometimes I listen to some of his stuff, and I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool. He should do more of that. But then he doesn't.
Right.
But then I'm like, whatever. You make your money.
Yeah.
I will say right now, Kanye.
Overrated?
Yeah, I listened to that new album. I
didn't listen to it.
It was hot trash.
I'm gonna have to listen to it,
was
because
terrible.
I gotta love Kanye. He's crazy, whacked in the head.
Yeah.
But he doesn't care, and
No.
I think that's what I just love him. He don't give a shit about what anybody thinks.
His whole thing right now, because he made it just like, I love his older records.
Yes.
I love them, like Graduation.
Yes.
Like I have that on vinyl. I love that record so much. But like this new one, like it's just so not like anywhere near the level of quality that like of what he made. It almost feels like he made this new record like as if to say, I can make anything and you idiots will eat it up.
Yeah, and he would totally
flat.
do that.
And yeah, exactly. And it fell flat. And it's like, dude, you can't just expect to like have like, yeah, he has his fans.
What's the name of this one?
Vultures, I think.
Okay.
Or Vultures 2, I don't know. But like you can't just expect your like the vast majority of people, especially like musically inclined people, to be like, yeah, no, Kanye, he did it again. No, It's like, man, that you are so lazy. Like that was not very good at all.
Right.
Like it's not at all what you used to make. And I think even Anthony Fantano is like, I'm not even gonna rate it. It's trash.
Really?
Yeah. And you know, he is in his right to make whatever statement he kind of wants to make about, especially about what Kanye's like statements, that were super controversial to say the least.
Yeah.
But kind of out of the controversy, instead of like trying to make something good to actually prove his point, he made something bad to try and further prove his point, but it fell so flat. And so I'll definitely say that Kanye, because I see a lot of people go like, "Oh yeah, he did it. He came back," even though it was like, "No, he did not.
He didn't.
He did not." It's super.
I'm gonna have to listen to it.
It's super hot fire.
Okay.
And not in a good way. Like it's dumpster fire.
I've never heard dumpster fire. Okay. So, what's the best compliment you've ever received?
I think in terms of my music, somebody told me that it spoke to them, and I was like wow, that's super. Somebody told me that whenever somebody tells me that they hear the influences in my music, because we like to it just like shows to me that they're like actually listening,
right?
And it's like kind of flattering,
right? Of course.
But yeah, and sometimes people tell me that I'm a great singer, and it's very flattering to hear that. Especially
because you didn't think that you were a great singer.
Yeah. I just do it.
Yeah.
Because if I don't do it, then we're gonna be a jam band.
Right. No one else is doing it.
Exactly.
Okay, so the last one is, who inspires you the most?
I guess for me, Bob Dylan is the reason I picked up the guitar in general. In terms of inspiration for kind of what I do right now, I think it would probably be the guys in Headphone. Cause,
that's cool.
Talking to them, like I met them when I started working at the music store.
Right.
Raph, and I met Alex and Louis, and when I hear how they talk about their like the punk scene and their community, and it makes me feel like I should be doing something as well.
Right.
So and that's basically what I try and do. They care super heavily about the scene, and they do a lot for their scene, and they're just friends with everybody.
Right.
So it's such a and they make great music too. In fact, I think of all of like the punk bands in South Florida, this is just my personal opinion, but I think if any of them have like any merit that will grant them like a deal to make music professionally, I think it's them. They
Really?
make such good music that's just so like, it's not like, oh my god, they're so technically impressive. It's like, they're just dudes. you
Right.
know? They're pretty good at guitar and writing, but it's just what they write is just so catchy.
Right.
And so like there's such earworms, and it's just so good. That's what I really like in terms of writing.
Right.
I kind of echo that kind of same thought process of just like, I don't care if it's like dumb or stupid or
Right.
simple idea, as long as it's catchy,
Right.
because that's what people like.
That's nice. I'm sure they'll love to hear that.
Yeah, they're the homies.
Nice. All right. So, in closing, are there any final words? Where can everybody find you? Do you have any merch we can buy? Let us know everything.
So we do not have any merch yet, but we are working on it. We're planning on going on a tour sometime soon, within this year, hopefully.
Well, that's exciting.
We're thinking about hitting up Chicago.
Oh, okay.
And so if anybody knows of any places in Chicago that wants to have us, we're thinking of hitting Chicago, Kalamazoo,
Oh, wow.
Gainesville. So if anybody has any connects for those places and anywhere in between, that would be super cool. But yeah, we're planning on going on tour sometime in the summer, maybe after that.
Mm-hmm.
We're on Spotify. We're on Apple Music. We're on Bandcamp. If you want to support us, buy our music on Bandcamp Friday. We get all of the money on Bandcamp Friday.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Or you can just stream it on Spotify. Watching the numbers go up makes us feel happy. We don't get anything from it, but we like seeing the numbers go up. It's on YouTube Music, Apple Music, Spotify. I'm trying to think if it's on anything else. But yeah, we're under Seda Sol on basically everywhere, and that's SEDA space SOL. And yeah, that's where you can find us, or follow us on Instagram.
Yeah. So do you have any shows coming up that they can catch after Friday this week? What's the date?
Let's see. I think we have two more shows in the works. We have on the 3rd of May, we're playing at the club.
Where's the club? I've never heard of the club.
The club is close to Hialeah. I always forget kind of whereabouts it's at, but it's just called the club.
Okay.
And it's Northwest 7th Avenue. It's like in North Miami.
No, okay. All right. The club. The club, people.
Very nice little cozy spot. We
May
have
3rd.
a show there on the 3rd, and then on the 11th of that same month, we have Unseen Creatures.
Okay. All right.
And those are so far the two shows that we are doing coming up. But if anyone wants to play with us, we're always just a DM away.
Yep. All right. So, any last words before I hit stop?
Thank you for what you do.
Thank you. Thank you for coming and dealing with my craziness.
Oh, no.
I mean, you must think I am a total shit show.
No, it's fine. I do the same thing. I'm double booking myself. So that's why I had to get an agenda, because I double book myself all the time if I don't have it. But yeah, no, I think what you do is super, super cool.
Thank you.
I know you've had like a lot of bands on your podcast before, and you do shows too sometimes. So I think that's super cool. You know, any amount of like DIY stuff like that is just super valuable.
Yeah. Well, I love it. I do it selfishly because I love it.
Well, I mean, it's awesome.
Well, I appreciate you driving all the way up here.
No, absolutely.